All right, good evening, everyone. DayTraderRockStar here. Coming up on a little before 8 o'clock, 7:30 in the evening. I want to do a video. I'm going to start the video off. We've got some people in the room here. We're going to just talk about trading. I want to do some scripting tonight, but I also wanted to go over, talking about the markets. And today was a pretty decent day. We were able to read the markets good. It wasn't that exciting, but I think the market was pretty easy. And when we, and I touched on something I wanted to kind of touch on again in this video, because sometimes we discuss something, but it gets forgotten. And, certain things that if the market is acting in a very structured and a very calm environment, you want to take advantage of that. And you want to take advantage of the divergences. You want to take advantage of the quad rotations, because they tend to work out really well. So I want to go over those setups, and we're going to just kind of measure out the market that we just passed and just kind of point out those things. But the number one setup that I like is the divergence setup. And that's something that I like to identify in real time and visually identify, like a visual confirmation, a visual confirmation, not waiting for a bot and stuff. I want to understand where are two stages of the divergences, stage 1 and stage 2, and the angle between the two stages. And if we have a very steep angle, sometimes it's going to happen in a place where I'm not able to trade it, like 4:15 in the morning. That's the last thing I really want to do, is get up in front of the computer at 4:15. But there is people out there, traders out there, that are able to be in front of the market at this point. And, and if you do happen to see a divergence like this, even if there is low volume, a divergence is a divergence, and it means something. And we typically get a move off of it. And I don't care, especially with the prop accounts, because the prop accounts, you're not really, with the evaluation accounts, you're not really trading real shares. So you're not really affecting the market. So you can kind of, get aboard here and capture these moves and not really influence them, and so to speak. So I definitely recommend, if you have that opportunity to trade overnight, or especially between 3 o'clock and 9:30, the pre-market time frame, 4 o'clock to 9:30, that's a good time frame to kind of look for these divergences. So I want to kind of point them out to you. We're going to kind of roll through this. And this is the key to being successful in any type of trading. I don't care if you're trying to qualify on your prop account or just kind of nickel and dime the market and make money. Now, I always say slow and steady wins the race, especially with trading. It's great to have the big days and the great trades, and but really that doesn't happen. That's not being realistic, and you have to gamble sometimes to get into those. And gambling is counterintuitive to what we're trying to do. We're trying to set up a method, a business plan, something that's organized and steady and has structure to it, and you could really count on it. And that's what that's what we're trying to build here at Day Trading Radio. So with that said, there's 3 setups that I always kind of talk about. The divergence is number 1. And this is a great example of that divergence. And I will say once again, show me a divergence and I'll show you the market move in the direction of the divergence 9 times out of 10. 9 out of 10 still has that one chance. Maybe it doesn't move. Maybe there's some weakness. But because we've been in the market for so long, we can actually tell you when that's going to happen. We could actually recognize if something's going to fail. And all this together, all this, all these little things that we talk about, little tips of the trade, so to speak, need to be applied. This is all in your business plan. And it might be watching paint dry. It might be, but I'm telling you, at 4:15, if you saw that setup and all of a sudden you get in here and you're 55 and you get 5 points on it, you're trading some of the ES and you get a nice little move like this, I watch that paint dry every day. So Raindrops. Yeah, I'm recording this right now. This is gonna be a fresh recording. So, for those out there, this is being recorded. But yet again, it's all about the psychology of the trade, and like anything that we do, this is another great analogy, or it's based on analogies. Everyone out there, we all have our passions, and if you're passionate and good about something, there's a reason why you're good at it. You know the secret to success. All right, if you're and I mean, I guess you could grab anything, and I'm not an expert in everything, but there's certain things that I'm good at, certain things that that I know how to be better be successful at, or not be successful, and they'll be different from what you are. I can't do certain things that other people do, but they know right techniques, the technique of how to do something right, and I always use some common ground between all of us, something that's easy to kind of understand. So you hear me say this, and I hate to always go over it, but it's important to go over, because that confirmation that understanding in your mind of relating something that you're familiar with to the markets, kind of put things on track, and you could apply those same principles to the market. So some of the analogies I use is, of course, gambling. Gambling is something I use, with that, having a good hand. Only bet when you have a good hand. I was watching, when I was picking up my burrito today, I was watching poker things, poker stars or whatever. They were doing a lot of poker online on the TV, and I was watching them. And of course, once you have a good hand, you're not going to fold that hand. You're going to try to bet that hand, and that's when you're going to put your money up, and you're going to try to get as much because you believe you have a good hand. And most likely, you're going to see on that poker hand, you're going to see a percentage of success. This guy has a 95% chance of winning this hand because of his hand versus the other person's hand, and the odds of the cards that are already laid, and how many cards need to be laid, and all that is calculated in. And you got to take those chances. You got to take that. There's no guarantees in life, but there is that. So a divergence like this is a high probability, high percentage trade, and this is something you have to take if you're going to be successful. And again, if you're not in front of it for 15, that's okay. I mean, I'm not in front of it, those things. But when to recognize it, and to kind of go back on it, and identify it, and back test it, and learn from it, and stuff, it just embeds, kind of instills that model in your mind that's what you want. So that's our number one setup. That's our full house, or the double aces in the hand. Oh, there's the market getting a nice little pop there, huh? So let's see here. Market pops up. Let's see here. We had a little, what I call 1, 2, 3 pattern. That was performed a little bit later. I'm not worried about the trend lines right now. What I'm looking for are just the rotation, and we're going to talk about a couple different chart things. This is the 1 minute time frame. This is our basic chart that I'm following. This is the roadmap. This is our echocardiogram of the markets. All four of these is our echocardiogram. Each one of these bands represents something that's going on in the market. Up and down and up and down. The faster the stochastics, or the faster the rotation, the lower the number, 9 period, 14 period, 40, and 60. It goes faster to slower for the rotation. And we wait for these all to kind of rotate together. So sometimes you have to take a while for this to kind of rotate and get down to an oversold level. When it gets underneath that, and this is bouncing, you have to wait for that to get down, and wait for this to get down, until finally they're all oversold. And that's when you want to start looking at your trade. Let me zoom in here. 8 o'clock comes in. Most people are in front of the computer. Hopefully around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. hold on a second. This is a nice ascending triangle that we took earlier when we sat down before. Yeah, I just think the market's going to move up tomorrow, so I'm just kind of playing with a couple of contracts here, a couple of ES contracts overnight. I think we're going to get a little grind up here, so just kind of update on that. All right, so left off here, talking about the important, what do we want to do in the markets? All right, I mean, what's our overall goal? What's our dreams? I mean, do we have dreams? I tell you, when I come to work, I have money saved. I mean, I have money, that I'm saving, but I always want to be successful at what I'm doing. And, I don't know if I'm, that type of person that loves money. I'm not, I like to be successful in trading. That's what I want to do. I want to be successful. I'd love to make money. That's going to be a byproduct from that, no doubt about it. But I want to have the freedom, the freedom to do things that I want to do when I want to do them. And I think we all need money for that. So, teaching people how to get to that point without being, this is a path. This is a path of making money. Depending on how you feel about it, I don't know why I was going off on a tangent about how I feel about money, but, I'm happy to, if I could see, I want to get rid of the greed in my life, and really, become an expert at discipline and patience. And that really improves a lot of stuff with us. Because we know what works. And every time we point out something like this, we point it out before it happens, and it tends to happen. I said, quad rotation. Pull back, we're looking at a bull flag here. Boom, bull flag. I remember here, this was a big bull flag right here. I was like, and the thing took off, and that was some news there. That was some Fed news. I want to take a look at the chat room here and answer some of the questions, but is there an easy way? Easy way to trade in futures. You know what? I heard a great interview the other day on ABC Radio. It was a guest. He was a guest on ABC Talk Radio. What was his name? The guy that Leonardo DiCaprio played in The Wolf of Wall Street. What's The Wolf of Wall Street? What was his name? Anyway, he was on ABC Talk Radio, and he's pushing out his new book, and for someone who had that reputation as a high, I don't know, was that a hedge fund guy, he's a big trader, he made a big name for himself. Probably, I don't know if he was. What was his story? What was his backstory? I forget what he was eventually investigated. I think he did prison time. He came on. He has a big history in the markets and stuff, doing all kinds of stuff. And you would expect that he would be an expert. That's someone you would take a class from, right? A legend in his own, and whatever you think. Wow, look at the market, nice pop there. But he talked about the secret of Wall Street was really reinvestment, buying and dividend paying stocks and reinvesting those dividends and compounding your profits over years. It's the best way. It's the most safe way. It's the easy way. It's the way that's rigged. The market is rigged to go up over time. You just really have to play the game. And of course, more money, you make more money. That's the bad part. People gamble to get more money. But I mean, that's why I kind of drifted away from stock trading much than holding it. It's just watching it day by day, unless I'm taking a real big position in stocks, which I typically don't do because I just don't, it gets expensive. You buy 300 shares of, well, you can do the option. We usually do option. I usually do option. I can't tell you how many shares I recently bought. It would be all under stocks that are, I usually do 40 shares at a time, 40, 50 shares at a time, and look to get 3 to 5 points and take those trades on a shorter time frame than hold something longer term. I think that's what your IRA or, maybe if you have a retirement account, haven't invested. So, nice pop there. I think I should sell one
Order
off here.
submitted. Order filled.
Oh, what just happened there? Still have one long.
Order canceled.
All right, so where do we left off? Here? I just wanted to see what the market was doing. But again, we want to make money each day. You want to be able to come in here and not think it's just a big gambling casino. You want to have a strategy, and you want to execute that strategy. And the hardest part of that is being ready for it and having confidence in it, pulling the trigger. And I always say the hardest thing is actually taking profits in this type of strategy. Imagine that. Imagine being, that was your worst thing you had to do is when to get out. 9 times out of 10, you probably, if you had a good setup, and again, if you pick the top 3 setups, which would probably be that real steep divergence, a good pure bull flag, where we're holding the 20-period moving average, you have the rotation down to the 20, and this holds above 80. The higher the number, the better on the 60-10. Now this is, it was up there. It was up above 80 at the time. It closed at 79, though. It started coming down. You can see how it stayed up there, though, pretty good. So we kept on coming down. Each one of those little pullbacks were kind of, it was very bullish. Once you start to see that, it's not a game of musical chairs when it's going to end. Because if you catch it early enough, it could really go. And it's very easy to see, because this is a short-term trend. If this is dragging down the bigger one, that would mean something. But if this is just pulling back and this one's staying up here, that's usually a good sign of that. That pullback is just a pullback in the bigger trend. That's why that flag works so well. Now, it's probably, works just as well on the other side. And here's your rotation. This is still under that 20 line there. It's embedded. You got to move up. I think it's here. That's what we're looking at. Oops, I shouldn't use a circle. But, all right, back here with you. Thanks for that break. I was just on the phone. We just left off here. Just following this market down today after it turned over. It turned over pretty nice and then started channeling out and kind of flushed it and pushed back up and had a nice bear flag here. That was kind of real embedded here. We saw that rotation. They would call that nice bear flag. Right when we got it over at 80 level, it just rolled over. That trend line was the X marks the spot. It was like a few X marks the spots today. Yeah, this one right here. There's a little trend line here, but it came right in here, and then look at this last one. Oh, never even got back up there. I'm going to extend that. This is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a good trend line. I mean, I would definitely watch it if we did pull back to it. That's a good level to watch. All right, there you go. So we got a nice pop there. So this is what's going on right now. I did take a couple of trades. I just took, well, I didn't take them off yet. But we'll take these off maybe right now. I'll take one off. Actually, I might just keep it on. I'm going to keep it on. And I have some ES2 on this account, I think. No, I do. Wow, it's up $700. Shit. That's an overnight trade. 3 ES. Holy crap. I should lock all that in right now.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Yeah.
Order submitted.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to go short.
Order submitted.
All right, so we took that off. I took it all off. All right. Well, let something come back in here. I didn't even realize it. Yeah, that was a nice move in a slower market. And we went up against a trend line here. It looks like. Yeah, that's that. This is something we were looking at overnight. I said, let's keep an eye on that trend line. We almost got up to it. NZ had called for this brown line to be tagged before the close, and we got real close to it. But now you can see actually we got through it here. Just got through it with a gap through it too. It was a big level. It's kind of a weird candle. I don't know if I'm missing some data there or what. Never seen it just gap that much. Let me see if I can fill that in. Anyway, that's where we are right now. So we have a slight little flag here. What's interesting is we got overbought here quickly on the 9.3. But this is under a threshold level of 80 at a 72, which is pretty and it's kind of heading down. So it's not our textbook, but it might actually set up on the 50 if we pull back just a little bit more. The highs are just above us. I have a feeling this is going to resolve higher. There's some pretty good volume. Was that 8 o'clock? Yeah, right around 8 o'clock. So we're just seeing if we're going to see this. If this pops out of this, I'm not going to take this trade, but it does look better for a pop here. So that's what I'm just looking at. If we do get this video, I'm going to probably end it soon, the video at least, and we'll stick around here for a bit. So take advantage if you want to get the coupon. It closes tonight at 12 o'clock. The Bolinox code is 90 DTR, and the Apex code is DTR Apex. The Bolinox is 90 DTR. And according to the guy from the Apex, he goes, this will be our last 90% for a while, he said. I don't know if that's just a marketing ploy or not. Did it already close? There's a pop here. Look at that pop out of that. Wow. So the timing, that's what the stochastics are good for. Timing. You come down to a window of opportunity here. You know that you're pretty close to a move. Should have took that. That was an obvious one. And again, it's in the conditions that we like. The conditions are it's a stable market, maybe a little even boring, nothing really moving it, an aggressive nature. So these things kind of do move around in waves. That's a nice little move, though. But that flag, towards it had more of a flag look at it because of the fast rotation. This was in the 70s. It wasn't steep. It wasn't dropping hard. Now where do we go from here? I would say the trade is over. Lots of times you'll see a flag pop and then reverse because the 9-3 quickly gets overbought. And that's how you know that the flag sometimes fails. It gets a little pop. It actually, they always say a measured move of a pennant like this is you take the lower line, you drag it to the top pivot area, and that's your measured move because that's actually a channel. So you put that wherever it is, right about there. And when you get a break out of the wedge or the pennant here, it tends to go to the top trend line before turning over. So that's exactly, see what happened there. So measured move from this is the distance from here. Make a parallel line from the lower trend line here to the top pivot. And that's your target. And that also comes along with that 9-3. It's kind of just getting up into that 80 range. I might say is why gamble? You could spot the ones you're going to get into very easily. So that's all I want. And then take it off. Like, it's going to be the hardest part, saying, all right, got the pop. You think, all right, that's going to continue. Nothing's guaranteed on that. But this is, you got that. You might as well take it because the rotation. I'm happy just to be out watching it, not being in this trade. This is sloppy. So, got a couple positions right here, and we got just a technical blast off. And I think that was what we were discussing earlier tonight. Is the importance of just trading in a calm market. You don't want really shaky ground or a lot of waves in the market are caused by news and stuff, because then things get extended further, trends become stronger, very hard to sometimes counter trend trade, or which we sometimes do with divergences or flags. Well, flags are they're continuation, but you know what I'm saying, you're buying a pullback. So market here had a nice pop, and out of it now we kind of came back into another flag here. Now this is on the 300 tick. I moved this down. This is, someone mentioned the 1000 volume chart before was a flag also, which was, I looked at, I said they were pretty exact all day. But yeah, you can see the flag here.
RBNZ Gov meeting with new PM was productive.
So there we go. I like this market going higher too tonight. I think Russia attacked Ukraine with some missiles into the infrastructure of Ukraine from their missile cruisers. Market here, nice bounce. I recall that flag was right on. Overall, the trend is up. Looks good. All right, so there we are. I'm going to get this video out. I'm going to continue to stay with you and trade a bit. So let me just get this out, because this was going to be part of a two-part video. I did a little webinar yesterday, so I'll send that out too. I got to just get it out there. So thanks for tuning in on this video.